Hello, nice to see you again. I hope today you just find. This is our fifth meeting of our lecture. As usual, I'm gonna share or give you a lecture still regarding the planning and development of tourism or tourism planning and development. All right, okay, let's go. Yeah, let me share first the PPT. All right. And all right. Okay, here we go. This is our topic, tourism planning and development. When we are talking about tourism, first of all, we have to define what tourism is. So here, tourism is one of many activities in a community or region that requires planning and coordination. This course provides a simple structure and basic guidelines for comprehensive tourism planning at a community or regional level. Planning. What is planning? Planning is the process of identifying objectives and defining and evaluating methods of achieving them. Yeah. Tourism planning considers all of the tourism resources, organizations, markets, and programs within a region. And development. Tourism development involves broadening the ownership base such that more people benefit from the tourism industry. Skills development, job and wealth creation, and ensuring the geographic spread of the industry throughout the province. Reasons for planning. One, ensure that planners understand the importance of tourism and take this fully into account when preparing development plans and taking planning decisions. Two, ensure that planners and the tourism industry work together effectively to facilitate, promote, and deliver new tourism development in a sustainable way. Three, ensure that those involved in the tourism industry understand the principles of national planning policy as they apply to tourism and how this can be applied when preparing individual planning application and tourism plan. Yes, okay. Yeah. A formal tourism plan provides a vehicle for the various interests within a community to coordinate the activities and work toward common goals. It is also a means of coordinating tourism with other community activities. Types of tourist planning: site level planning, destination level planning, regional level planning, national level planning, international level planning. Site level. Okay, so we will learn, yeah, one by one, step by step. Okay, yeah, here it is. Site level. The most popular planning today is at the site level. Example: individual property development, business sectors, non-profit organizations, and government agencies have increasingly employed professionals to plan and design their properties. The demand for resorts and other specific attractions has generated the need for new forms of cooperation and guidelines between the decision makers. Destination level. In some countries or regions, there is need for sub-regional or local level planning. This is more specific than the regional level planning. This level of planning is also called destination or regional planning. For planning purposes, a destination zone is defined as a geographic area containing critical mass of development that satisfies travelers' objectives. Regional level. The regional level of tourism planning is for one region of a country. This can be a state, a province, or tourist circuit like a group of islands, special areas, and etc. However, regional plans are formulated within the broader framework of the National Tourism Policy and Plan, provided it exists in a country. At the same time, absence of a national level plan. Regional planning focuses on the element of regional policy and regional access and the internal transportation network of facilities and services, type and location of tourist attraction, location of tourism development areas including resort areas, and etc. Yeah. Regional level environmental, socio-cultural, and economic consideration and impact analysis. Regional level education and training programs, marketing strategies, and promotion program. Organizational structures, legislation, taxation, regulation, and investment policies, and implementation technique, including project programming and regional. National level. The national level of tourism planning is what takes place within a country at the behest of its government. However, an ideal situation in this would be to involve the private sector, public sector, and also public opinion. The national level tourism planning is focuses on several elements like defining tourism objectives, tourism policy, a physical structure plan including identification of major tourist attractions, the designation of tourism development regions, international access points, and the internal transportation network of facilities and services. The measure to a route in the country, and the regional connection, tourism tourism organizational structures, taxation, legislation, and investment policies, tourism marketing, research strategies and promotion programs, human resource development, education and training, facility development and design standards, socio-cultural, environmental and economic consideration and impact analysis, national level implementation techniques, including long-term and short-term development strategies and project programming and research to understand tourism impacts. International level. This level of planning is concerned mostly with 1. International transportation services, 2. The flow and tour programming of tourists among different countries, 3. Development of major attraction features and facilities in nearby countries, and multi-country marketing, and etc. Planning process. Like any planning, tourism planning is a goal-oriented, striving to achieve certain objectives by matching available resources and program with the needs and wants of people. Comprehensive planning requires a systematic approach, usually involving series of steps. Step in a planning process. 1. Define goals and objectives. 2. Identify the tourism system. 3. Resources. 4. Organization. 5. Markets. 6. Generate alternative. 7. Evaluate alternative. 8. Select and implement. 9. Monitor and evaluate. Defining goals and objectives. It is important to understand how a tourism plan serves these broader purposes. If tourism is identified as a means of serving broader community goals, it makes sense to develop plans with more specific tourism development objectives. Identifying the tourism system. When planning for any type of activity, it is important to first define its scope and characteristic. Be clear about exactly what your plan encompasses. You can begin to clarify the tourism system by breaking it down into three subsystems. One, tourism resources. Tourism resources are any, are any one natural, two cultural, three human, or four capital resources that either are used or can be used to attract or attract tourists. Tourism resource inventory identifies and classifies the resources available that provide opportunities for tourism. A national, A natural resources, climate seasons, water resources, lakes, streams, waterfall, flora, forest, flowers, shrub, wild edibles, fauna, fish, and wildlife. Geological resource, topography, soils, sands, dunes, beaches, caves, rocks, and minerals, fossils. Scenery combinations of all of the above. B. Cultural resources. Historic buildings, sites, monuments, shrines, cuisine, ethnic, ethnic cultures, industry, government, religion, etc. Anthropological resources, local celebrities. C. Human resources. Hospitality skills, management skills, seasonal labor force, performing artists, music, drama, art, storytellers, etc. Craftsmen and artisans. Other labor skills from chefs to lawyers to researchers, local population. D. Capital resources. Availability of capital, financing, infrastructure, transportation, roads, airport, railroads, harbor, marinas, trails, and walkways. Infrastructure, utilities, water, power, waste treatment, communication. 2TSM organization. It is important to recognize the diverse array of public and private organizations involved with tourism. The most difficult part of tourism planning is to get these groups to work toward common goals. You should develop a list of these organizations within your own community and obtain their input and cooperation in your areas. 3. Tourism market. Tourists make up the third and perhaps most important subsystem. Successful tourism programs require a strong market orientation. The needs and wants of the tourists you choose to attract and serve must be focused of much of your marketing and development activity. Therefore, it is important to clearly generate alternative. Generating alternative development and marketing options to meet your goals requires some creative thinking and brainstorming. The errors made at this stage are usually thinking too narrowly or screening out alternative prematurely. It is wise to solicit a wide range of options from a diverse group of people if tourism expertise is lacking in your area. Evaluate alternatives. Tourism development and marketing options are evaluated by assessing the degree to which each option will be able to meet the stated goals and objectives. There are usually two parts of a systematic evaluation of tourism development and marketing alternative: feasibility analysis and impact assessment. These two tests are interrelated, but think of them as trying to answer two basic questions. One, can it be done? And two, what are the consequences? A decision to take a specific action must be based both on feasibility and desirability. Implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Monitors progress in implementing the plan and evaluate the success of the plan is in meeting its goals and objectives on a regular basis. Plans generally need to be adjusted over time due to changing goals, changing market conditions, and unanticipated impacts. It is a good idea to build monitoring and evaluation system into your planning efforts. Role of government. The primary role of public government is governance, enactment, and implementation of law and regulation. Certainly, understanding the many policies and practices of governmental agencies is essential to all forms of tourism planning and development. Role of private sector. The private sector's involvement in tourism is most likely to be motivated by profit, as tourism entrepreneurs invest in business opportunities. In a capitalist or mixed economy, development of tourist facilities and services such as hotels and other accommodation, tour and travel agencies, commercial type tourist attractions and activities, and local infrastructure are usually the responsibility of the private sector or in some areas of public cooperation. Public-private sector involvement. Private sector primarily interested in meeting the needs of tourists. Public sector, infrastructure, planning and regulation, facilitate and control, public interest, relationship to government policy at your areas. Yeah, I think that's it, yeah, that I can share with you. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Yeah, so as I told you before, that what I share with you can broaden your knowledge, your skills, yeah, especially in tourism planning and development. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we still continue our activities. In a moment, we are gonna to have the group discussion or like a talk show. Okay, are you ready now? Okay, let's go.